The Republican announcing plans to run for the seat now being held in Congress by the retiring Mike Gallagher.
State Senator Jacque making it official this morning. In Your Voice, Your Vote coverage tonight, Jason Zimmerman spoke to Jacque about his decision.
It was just a couple of weeks ago that Jacque was seen meeting with Republicans at the Oconto County Caucus, telling us he was considering a run for Congress. And now, based on feedback, he says that decision is a go.
Really excited. It's an opportunity to be able to serve my neighbors here in Northeast Wisconsin. You know, I've got a reputation of just being relentless in terms of bringing back wins for our area.
For Jacque, the timing of the announcement also comes as new legislative maps take effect in November, placing his residence outside the district he represents in the state Senate. With 2 years left on his term, he would have to move to keep his existing seat.
And really, that was a selling point as well, in that I don't have to give up representing a large swath of folks. This is an opportunity to represent even more folks here in Northeast Wisconsin.
Others on the Republican ballot so far include former state Senator Roger Roth and Alex Brusewitz, a GOP consultant for the Trump campaign, who's also been at area campaign events expressing a strong interest. While no Democrats have officially announced, several names have been mentioned as possibilities, with the state party saying after Gallagher's retirement they, quote, look forward to competing in the 8th and bringing some stability and competence back to the House, end quote. The filing deadline is June 1st. At this point, Jacque says he is only focusing on this congressional run, and no decision has been made on whether he intends to keep his Senate seat in the newly drawn district. Reporting in the newsroom, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.